Well, hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good summer. I thought it was important because a lot of information has come out the last week or so, and especially in the last few days, of how we're going to reopen campus. So I'm not going to go through everything in detail. You can certainly look on Return to Campus website, that part of our site, to look at things in detail. But I wanted to get a kind of a high level information to make sure you understood and to make sure you know where we're coming from. Because we're not doing this live, if you have questions, please feel free to send those questions to our tech relations website, and we will try to get you some answers back as quickly as possible. Uh, as you know, WVU, the main campus, Potomac State, and Tech will be coming back to campus in person. We will be coming back in 100%. And there are some rules that we will need to live by for a while, at least until we see what the infection rates are and what the vaccination rates are. The most important thing right now is, of course, we want to encourage everyone that feels comfortable to be vaccinated. We would like to see as many as possible to be vaccinated, but that, of course, is a choice that you will have. But when you make that choice, we want to make sure you also understand that with that comes responsibilities in both directions. So we want you to know what's going to happen when we come back to campus and after June the 20th, which is Sunday in West Virginia Day. As of that day, on June the 20th, the campus will be open totally if you need to be here on campus. We will expect, if you have not been vaccinated, that you will wear a mask indoors. And if you are outdoors, that you will wear a mask if you have not been vaccinated in places where you are amongst a group of people. Now, for the facility gentlemen and ladies, if you're mowing your grass or doing something and no one's around you, whether you're vaccinated or not, you'll be able to take your mask off outside. But we are going to open up things so that people that have been vaccinated, and that means fully vaccinated, you've either had two shots for Pfizer or Moderna, or one for J&J, and you have been for 2 weeks after those shots, either the second shot of Pfizer, Moderna, or the first shot of J&J, that you have been fully vaccinated, you will be allowed to not wear a mask indoors or outdoors at any settings. Now, that does not mean that if you feel uncomfortable and you want to wear a mask anyway, you certainly are going to be allowed to do that. And we want to be respectful to anyone that does that. So you have a choice, but you now have a choice. If you have not been vaccinated, you really do not have a choice. We expect you to wear that mask indoors and to wear that mask outdoors if you're in a group. We will return to campus with 100% in classrooms, but those classrooms will continue to be equipped with plexiglass. They will continue to have sanitizers there in the rooms and in the hallways because your safety is still important to us. Faculty will feel comfortable that if they feel comfortable behind the plexiglass or not and have been vaccinated, they will have the same choices that our students do. But we do expect you in a classroom, if you have not been vaccinated, to wear a mask. Now, part of the issue here is, why have we changed? And I think it's very important that you understand the thought that went into this. And there are a lot of thoughts, a lot of conversations, and mostly with our medical people, because we take that guidance from science. And we spent all last year masked, plexiglass, social distancing, washing our hands. And we certainly want to continue the washing of the hands as we go down the road. And our main course was to keep everybody safe. And in some ways, we felt like that was on our shoulders a little bit as an institution to institute things that would help make everybody safe. Well, now there is a way to stay safe without us having to be the institution that's looking over your shoulder, and that is with a vaccination. It has been proven that vaccinations are very effective, and that if you have been fully vaccinated, you have a very, very small risk of getting the disease and getting COVID, even the different strains that are out there. You have a very small chance of doing that. And if you do it, you have an even smaller chance of getting very ill. They've also said that it seems as though we don't transmit it, even those people that have been vaccinated don't transmit it to other people. So therefore now it's going to become the individual responsibility in many ways to stay safe. So if you choose not to be vaccinated, we do ask that you somewhat remember that that has been your choice, and we want you to stay safe as possible. So therefore, we are encouraging and asking you to wear a mask inside as we go along. Vaccinations, there will not be any more vaccination clinics on the campuses at this point at Tech. There are enough places around that you can get a vaccination anytime you need it. Walgreens, the health department, we can help you if you need to find a place to get a vaccination, because there is plenty of vaccine to go around. So we will not be doing those on campus. There is a possibility that if they do boosters in 2022, we will do vaccination clinics for the boosters. But we will let you know more about that as time goes on and we find out what they are doing. So we now know that we're going to open the campus up. If you have been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask if you choose not to. If you have not, you will need to wear that mask where we've talked about. I also want you to know that the students will be allowed to gather. They're allowed to have friends in their dorms like they were not last year. The only issue again is if you've not been vaccinated, you will be asked to wear a mask. So our labs, our lounges, our classrooms will all be set up. We will be allowed to have as many people in a meeting as we want, but there will always be a Zoom option for those meetings. And as supervisors continue to do these things, they will talk about it. Now, one of the most important things is that if you have been fully vaccinated, you need to register. You need to go to the website and register where they have housing. That's where the registration portal is, to be registered if you've been vaccinated. If you have not registered by August the 1st, you will be considered not vaccinated. Now, that does not mean that you can't go in and change that later and sign up if you've gotten vaccinated or if you forgot. But you do need to know that as of August 1st, we will take those statistics of the students that have not registered and assume they and the faculty are not vaccinated. And therefore, they will probably be the ones that will be contacted, that they will have to do testing before they come back to campus. That has not been completed, exactly how it's going to be done. And I will come back to you when we know the distance of that. The people that are listed, not listed as vaccinated, will also be the pool of people that we will do testing, periodic testing on. That will not be done quite as regularly as before, but it is something we will be doing, and you will be required to do that testing if you are not vaccinated. So it's very important to, if you have been fully vaccinated, to go in and register. Right now, we have about 34% of our faculty have registered, but we only have about less than 9% of our students that have registered. I know that we have more students than that have been vaccinated. So if you are listening and you are a student, if you are a faculty or a parent, please, if your family member is a member of the Tech family and have not registered and are fully vaccinated, they need to do that so we can get them on that list. The question has been asked that what happens with the people that are not vaccinated? How do we know? Well, this is going to be on the honor system. We are going to trust people to be as honest as they can be about whether they've been vaccinated or not. We will not be asking. Now, if we find out by some other means that you have not been vaccinated or not following the rules, then either on the HR side or on the student conduct side, those people will be dealt with. And we don't want to go down that road. We just want everybody to have a great experience. So just to follow the rules. But not following the rules is no different than doing something and falsifying the fact on your time card. So, we do expect people that have not been vaccinated to follow those rules. Student life, of course, we're going to open up. You're going to get to have your clubs and your meetings. You're going to be able to get your activities. At the first of the year, we'd like as many of those activities that can be done outside. We'd like them to be done outside. They don't have to be, but if you do it outside, it's a little more comfortable. Everybody, even those that are not vaccinated, may feel a little more comfortable about being in those meetings. But we will, when we have meetings inside, we will have a Zoom option for those meetings. Resident halls, they will be signing up to move in. Our dean, Emily Sands, will be working with everyone and sending out messages, but family members will not be limited to coming to help move students in. And our dining halls will be open 100%. There will be several places in the dining halls that will still have plexiglass, so you'll be able to sit there if you feel uncomfortable without it, but the majority of that room will be open. We'll still be having some prepackaged food and some things, so there's not as much touching, but we anticipate opening as much as possible. So travel is one of the things you need to remember, that if you are vaccinated, there will be only the rules of another state that you go to. You will not have to quarantine, and when you come back like you did before. Now, if you have not been vaccinated, that will be the same. If you leave the state, you will need to quarantine for 5 days. You will need to use your sick or your vacation pay days for those 5 days. Those will not be just something you're allowed to stay home with. So if you are not been vaccinated. So those are some of the things we're doing. Classrooms, again, will be open at 100%. We will have a regular academic calendar this year will be followed. We will have regular grading scales that will be followed. And we will still have seating charts in the rooms, and faculty will need to take roll, because in case there is a case, then we will have to do contact tracing like we did before. And we will need to know who those students were sitting with or has contacted. Now, the good news is, if you've been vaccinated, you will not have to quarantine or isolate if you've been exposed. If you have not, the bad news is you will have to quarantine or isolate. Those will be 14 days. There will be no exceptions to those. And you will have to work with your professors to get your work. There will not be special accommodations made of Zooming and things of that nature like there were before. So, more and more reasons, if you feel comfortable, to get vaccinated, and no reason, because it doesn't cost you anything. And we know there's plenty of vaccinations or vaccine around for you to do that. We will still have our weekly dashboard that will include both testing and vaccination rates. And we will have the house for isolation, as we did last year, that will be available for us to do that. Now, that's about vaccinations. That's about opening the campus. We're excited to see everybody, to get to see everyone. Now, I know that there has been some concerns and some upset, to be honest with you, about the fact that we are going to open our campus and we are not having people work remotely here. There are several reasons for that. I can mention those and say to you that we want everybody back on campus because we are a small campus. I did find out today that there was a survey done on the Morgantown campus to find out what the students dislike the most about COVID. And they dislike the fact that they didn't get to talk to people face to face. And we are a small campus, and I want to be as fair as humanly possible to all of you. Now, some of you will find that they think that's unfair. They're going to say, well, I can work from home just as well as I can from campus. And I'm not going to say that some of you, that may be true. But I think we have to be very careful, again, that we are fair, that if you are in one position the same as somebody else, we need people in those offices. We don't need students coming into offices and there's not someone there to greet them, to work with them and help them. Even though your job may be something else, particularly, you were placed in an office so that we have it open and ready for campus. So I look forward to see everybody coming back. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody on an individual basis of why this was done this way. I do believe that Potomac State is going to do the same thing. They're small, and part of it's who we are as our students. We connect to our students, we connect to them face to face, and they have missed that terribly. And so we want to get back to being who we are. And we are a wonderful place to work. And I hope we can make sure that even those people that are a little unhappy about this and don't like it, and I respect that, but I hope we'll all get back to the fact that we're really here for our students and making sure that they have the best experience they can have. So with that, Jen, I know is also on. Have I forgotten anything, Jen?
No, I think you covered it all. There were no questions that were submitted, so we're good.
Okay. Well, I am so pleased that we're going to get to see each other and laugh and smile and get reacquainted. We have some new faculty and new staff members that we haven't even get to know a little bit. We will be working still on our searches for our 2 new deans, and I look forward to candidates coming on campus and getting to know people. And maybe before school starts, we can have at least 1 new dean maybe in place, we hope. And so I want to thank all of you again for what you've done. I hope you're having a good summer. Now, we all know that coming back to work and doing things like we were before, it may take some adjustments. We're going to work on that and make sure it's all done in a positive way. I thank all of you for the things you do and how you do it with our students and with our employees and the job you have done. So I look forward to talking with you soon when I have more answers to that. I will let you know as soon as I know about how we are going to do testing. I did forget to say there will be a modular like there was last year that every student, faculty, and Senate student will need to take for us before we start school, and that will be before August the 12th. You will get an email that will tell you how to connect to that. It is not on the web yet. It will not be there until July. But everyone will need to take that modular, just asking some questions and making sure we're all understanding as we go. So have a great weekend. Have a great 4th of July. And I look forward to seeing you in July. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.